Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. You should be on page 699 in your math book. It is the review page. Today we are just reviewing what we've gone over in this chapter. There are a couple things that we skipped because we needed pattern blocks, and obviously we can't use those when we're not at school. So there are a couple things we're going to skip on the review, but let's go ahead and get started. So that's 5. We are going to start on number 5. Number 5, what shape is that? What shape? That yellow shape, what is it? Next to number 5 on page 699, what shape do you see? Who can raise their hand and tell me? What shape do we see? Lima, what shape do you see?
Square.
Next to number 5? This one.
Triangle.
A triangle. Yeah, that is a triangle. Who can tell me how many sides and vertices does a triangle have? How many sides and vertices? Remember, vertice is a fancy word for corner. So how many sides and vertices does that triangle have? Santonia, hit your mute button and then let us know.
3.
Yeah, it has 3 sides and 3 vertices.
0.
So for number 5, you can write 3 and 3. It has 3 vertices. It has. Do number 6 on your own. Take about 10 seconds to do that one on your own. And then let me know what you think. Just a minute. I have a parent asking me what our ID is. What do we think? How many sides and vertices does that square have? Wasi, what do you think? Wasi, what?
4 sides and 4 vertices.
4 sides and 4 vertices. Yeah, a square has 4 sides and 4 vertices. So for number 6, you should have written 4 and 4. Good. Go ahead and flip your page. You can draw an X over number 7 and number 8. You need pattern blocks to do those, so we can't do them when we're not at school because we don't have those pattern blocks. What, honey?
What page?
Page 700 now. We're looking at number 9 on page 700. So now we're looking at number 9. This isn't a shape that we learned about, but we can still answer this question. What, Christian?
I said I was gonna hack.
Equal parts are there? How many equal parts are there on number 9? We're on page 700 now. How many equal parts or halves are there? Does anybody see number 9 on page 700? This is what it looks like. How many equal parts are there on this shape? Maram, hit your mute button and tell us. Maram, how many equal parts are there? Ziad, not right now.
6.
On this one? You see 6 parts here? 2. Now let's look at number 10, that square. Do number 10 on your own. Take 10 seconds and do number 10 on your own. And tell me, who can tell me for number 10, how many equal parts are there in that square? Who can raise their hand and tell me how many equal parts are there in that square? Amika, what do you think?
4.
4. Give me a thumbs up if you got 4. See, I counted them out for us. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal parts. Good. Now let's look at number 11. Number 11. So how many equal parts are there in that trapezoid? Number 11. How many equal parts are there? How many equal parts are there? Christian, don't push your sister. How many equal parts are there on number 11? Everybody take a look at number 11. Who can raise their hand and tell me how many equal parts there are? Anybody? Thank you, Lima. Lima, how many equal parts do you see on number 11?
There's two. Then there's one gun. There's one, two.
There's 2 equal parts, and then Lima, how many of them are colored blue?
One.
1. Thanks, Lima, for participating. So, on that first line, you can write 1, and then the second line write 2, because one of our 2 parts are shaded in. There are 2 parts, and one of them are colored in. We have 2 parts, and one of them is colored in. So, one of 2 parts are colored in. What about number 12? Number 12. Take a look at number 12. How many parts are there on number 12? Mabuba, how many parts are there on number 12?
4.
4. And how many of them are colored in?
1.
1. Good. So we have 1 of 4 parts colored in. It says 1 of 4 parts. So 1 of our 4 pieces of that shape are colored in. Good. Now let's look at number 13 on the top of page 701. Does anybody have any questions on what we've done so far? Yes, no? Okay. Let's look at number 13. It's a story problem on the top of page 701. It says, I am a 2-dimensional shape that has more than 2 but less than 4 sides. So what number is in between 2 and 4? There's one number right in between them. It goes 1, 2, 4. What number is in between 2 and 4? Sraboni, what number is it? Christian, please leave yourself muted. Hey, there you go. 3. So we are looking for a shape that has 3 sides. What shape do we know that has 3 sides? Who can tell me? What shape do we know of that has 3 sides? Christian, what shape do we know?
A triangle.
A triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. Good. So underneath number 13, you can draw a triangle. Mine looks kind of bad, but that's okay. And we're also going to write the word triangle. So go ahead and copy that down. Is everybody done with that? Good. If you didn't finish copying it, that's okay. I'm going to show it again in a second. So let's read number 14. Number 14 says, Amos and Elton want a piece of chicken pot pie. Each of them want an equal part of it. Draw a line that shows how they could cut the pot pie. So it's Amos and Elton. So how many kids want a piece of pot pie? How many kids want a piece of pot pie? Wasi, how many kids?
2.
2. So we need to cut this pot pie into 2 parts. So go ahead, the pot pie is drawn there for you. Go ahead and cut it in half. Draw a line to cut it in half so that there's 2 equal parts. And then I'll show you mine and we'll see if we got the same one. Did everybody do it? Give me a thumbs up if you drew a line to cut that pot pie in half. What's up, Santonia?
How many equal parts?
2.
2.
Yep, because it says Amos and Elton each want a piece of pot pie. So Amos and Elton, that's 2 people. So this is how I drew my line. Did anybody draw anything different? Did anybody cut theirs in half a different way? Good, Santonia. Hendrix, how did you cut yours in half?
Not me. I didn't do it. I did.
Hendrix, how did you cut yours in half?
I put like a little line like this, and then I drew like little cuts of pot pie.
Oh, so you did this way, you could have drawn it this way, you could have drawn it that way. It doesn't matter how you cut it, but you just have to cut it in half. Good, Hendrix. Good. So it doesn't matter which way your line goes, if you did it diagonal, if you did it straight across the middle. Most people probably did it up and down, but it doesn't matter which way you did it as long as you cut it in half and you have 2 equal parts. Does that make sense? Good. Okay, so you guys will have no homework this weekend because we just finished our chapter. So we are going to start a new chapter when we are back doing math on Tuesday. Sound good? So we won't have any math homework this weekend. So now would be a good time if you haven't finished your previous math homework. Just a minute, I'm still talking. Now would be a good time if you haven't finished your previous math homework to get caught up on that, but you will have no new math homework this weekend. Who has questions? Raise your hand.